Hello to all my book reading friends. I'm gonna do all of my April readathons in one video, so as I to avoid having to do multiples. And because if I do multiples, I'm going to talk about the same books twice in a lot of cases. So we're just going to do it all in one. I'm doing round two for the year, a Thankful-a-thon. I had a good time with that one. So I'm doing another one of those. This is unique into itself, and it's really nice because it's a lot of books I either want to read or need to read for other things. There's a couple of arcs in here that I need to get read. So we're going to jump right in. For the Thankful-a-thon, these are just books you're thankful for. Favorite contemporary or favorite genre? I don't read a lot of contemporary, which is kind of surprising. I just don't. My favorite genre is fantasy, followed closely by sci-fi. And if you combine fantasy and sci-fi, I'm kind of in heaven. I wanted to get into this book anyway. Crests from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. I read the first two. I knew I wanted to keep going, so this was the perfect place to tuck that book in. A new to me book. This is one of two books I won from Bookish First recently. I've had really good luck with them. I won these two. I just got another one in the mail today that's a almost 600-page chunker, and I have another one coming. So I've had really, really good luck with Bookish First lately. But this is a new to me book, obviously, Call of the Raven by Wilbur Smith. Yeah, it's deals with the issue of slavery in America and in a pretty powerful way. The next one is a new to me author. This is the other book I got recently. Well, one of the four that I've recently won from Bookish First, called The Nemesis Manifesto by Eric Van Lustbader. Now, if you don't know how Bookish First works, you go to the website. They have a bunch of, I usually like 3 or 4 every week, and it's called a raffle. And you go read a sneak peek of the book, and then you give your impression. After your first look, they call it, you give your first impression, and you can win a copy of the book to ARC based on that first impression. I found some absolute gems this way, just like with a lot of other ARC websites that you can find. But the thing I love about this is, as much as I love my ebook app, my Kindle app on my iPad, there is something about holding a book in my hand. And Bookish First, they send you the actual book. It's a paperback copy, but I'll take it. This one I jumped on because, and I really was intrigued, because when I read the description on the website, it said Evan Ryder is a lone wolf, a field agent for a black ops arm of the Department of Defense, who has survived unspeakable tragedy and dedicated her life to protecting her country. And I stopped and I went back and I went, wait, what? Her life? So it is a black ops veteran who's a woman. You don't see a lot of those. So I was, okay, I've got to read the little excerpt, the little first look, and I loved it, wrote my first impression, and I have my copy in my hand. I'm so excited. The Nemesis Manifesto is, there's a group known as Nemesis that's bent on tearing the country apart. So yeah, she's trying to figure out what they're up to and how to stop them. The next one is a favorite audiobook. Now, I don't know if this is a fave. I listened to one chapter of this and then fell away from it, but I did love the narrator's voice. I'm fairly new to the audiobook world. It's just not something I've done a lot of, usually because I'm really good at making whatever I'm listening to background noise. So to focus on a story while I'm doing something else is tricky, and I don't just want to sit and listen. That's not in my nature. I have listened to like a chapter of this, but it's been so long, I'm going to go back and restart it. Don't Date Rosa Santos by Nina Moreno. I'm using Scribd for this. I have a Scribd subscription. And I love the narrator's voice. She was very captivating to listen to. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And it's one I've wanted to get back to. So yeah. 500 plus pages. I just started this series. I found 2 of the books in our Friends of the Library used bookstore and was captivated right away, and then found the third one on thrift books for like less than $5. It's called The Baskerville Affair. The entire series is called The Baskerville Affair, and the main character is a woman named Evelina Cooper, who is supposed to be Sherlock Holmes' niece. But there's also some steampunk thrown in because the men that run London, that run England, that run London are steam barons. They've been fighting off those who want to create combustion engines, and steam rules the world. Steam powers the electricity in everybody's houses. Steam powers the heat in everybody's houses. And if you piss off the wrong person, if you're living in a certain part of the city and you piss off your steam baron, you go cold, you lose your heat, You go dark, you're done. So she's the sleuth and the crime fighter in this. This one's called The Study in Darkness. I read A Study in Silks. This is A Study in Darkness. The third book is A Study in Ashes. Really captivating page-turning story. And just enough of that Sherlock Holmesian deductive type sleuthing that I love as a Sherlock Holmes fan. So that's exciting. Series, I've been waiting to get to this one, and I don't know why I put it off for so long. I've read the first two. This is one of those, speaking of Bookish First, I found this series because of Bookish First. I got the first book from Bookish First, written by Angel Payne and Victoria Blue. It was called Shark's Edge was the first book. And I hadn't even finished the first book yet, and I went online and pre-ordered the next two, or ordered the next one and pre-ordered the third one. There's actually a fourth book coming out that is about his best friend, Grant something. His best friend's name is Grant. So I'm excited. This is the end of his story. He and his lady love, Abigail. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this series. But again, found the whole series because of Bookish First. So that's kind of why I love it. A movie or a TV adaptation. I'm playing a little fast and loose with this one. I have discovered, thanks to one of my daughters, there is this whole group of books out there that are based on Disney movies. They come with the Disney logo on the cover. Sorry, there's sticky from a price tag, or a sale tag, I should say. But they twist them, and they all have titles that come from songs in the Disney movie. But there's always a what if question. The first one I ever read was called As Old as Time. It was a retelling of Beauty and the Beast that said, what if Belle's mother was the enchantress that cursed the castle? And it's so good. And I kind of went, okay, I'm in love. It keeps all the elements of the story that you want most to be there, all the characters and things, and twists it all and makes it a lot darker than Disney could ever put in an animated version on screen. I just recently read Conceal Don't Feel, which is the retelling of Frozen, with the question, what if Anna and Elsa grew up without knowing each other? And they take it from a point in the movie where Elsa hits Anna with her magic, and instead of just removing the memory of Elsa's magic, they remove Anna and Elsa's memories of each other and separate them and send Anna away to live in the village with friends. So that one was intense. So this next one, I'm kind of playing fast and loose with this because this book itself has never been turned into a movie or a TV, but the original version of the story is a very well-known Disney story. This one's called Straight On Till Morning. And the question is, what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook? So I'm intrigued. Picked it up at Target. So I'm super intrigued to get to this one. There's this one. They have one for Mulan. They have one for Little Mermaid. They have one for Sleeping Beauty is coming out soon. There's some other ones that they have too, but kind of exciting and kind of fun. This last one is a book with a spring color on the cover. This is another one. I picked up a couple of the books at the Friends of the Library Bookstore and used thrift books to finish out the series. The series is called, help me out. I know there's a series for it because I bought the rest of them. Well, anyway, the first one, Healer series. Thank you. Touch of Power. This is the first book in the Healer series. There are two more, but spring colors high. There are spring flowers right there, pink and purple. Spring colors on the cover. So that's it. This is my Thankful-a-thon, spring edition. The next Readathon I stumbled onto. I saw it on Twitter and dug in to doing some research. Luckily, they were sweet enough to provide several different suggestions in all of the different genres they were asking you to read in. It's a bingo board. It's set up like a bingo board, which I love. Book bingos. I'm a geek. I know. I like bingo and I like books. So combine the two. This one is basically focused on authors, autistic rep, autistic characters. So every single author that I'm reading for this particular challenge, I think it's supposed to be Autistic Pride Month in April, if I'm not mistaken. But every single book on this bingo sheet comes from an autistic author. There is autistic rep among the characters, or both, or neither. No, I shouldn't say that. They're all autistic authors. There's one book that doesn't have actual autistic characters in it. But the really funny thing was, last year I missed the chance to do the owls portion of Magic-a-thon. So I didn't do newts because I figured I should do owls first. And I was watching booktube videos today because I'm stuck in my house self-isolating. So what else am I going to do, right? But read or watch booktube videos. And I watched one from both Becca and the Books and Rachel Marie and realized they were doing their Owls TBR. So I quick jumped on Twitter, found it, went and looked just to see. And the one career path I really, really wanted to pursue, I could literally, there's 5 books that I have to read if I read the sheet right, I hope. And they all can come off of this Autistic Pride Readathon that I'm doing. So I'm really excited. So I've chosen to pursue the librarian career path just because that seemed like a smart choice for me. So I will try to cover where all of these fall for both. With the Autistic Pride, I'm going to go right across the bingo board, start in the top left corner, go across. It's a 3x3 board. The first book calls for an own voices rep. So a book by an autistic author about an autistic character. I keep sounding like I'm saying artistic, and I'm not. Mothman by Kaylin Rywell, I think is how you pronounce that last name. The really fun thing is all of these are ebooks with one audiobook. So I was able to find all of them relatively cheaply or, online. Or one of them, I think the audiobook comes from Scribd. So, and I have a subscription to that, so I'm good. Sci-fi fantasy, I'm actually reading 2 books by this author. It's 2 books in a series because they both fit beautifully. This is, I believe, the second book in the series, perhaps. This is called Tone of Voice by Kaya Sonderby, I think. Kaya Sonderby. This is also in the Owls. I'm supposed to read. Defense Against the Dark Arts calls for me to read a book that takes place on or near the water. That qualifies. In case you can't tell, that's a whale. She's swimming. It works. The next top right corner square for the Autistic Pride Readathon is a romance book. So for that, I am reading, sorry, they're not in order, The Misguided Confession by Dahlia Donovan. This also fits in under Transfiguration because one of the characters in this book is a shifter. And Transfiguration, under the Owls, I need to read a book that involves a shifter. And one of these characters is Perfection. Indie or self-published autistic author. That book, and I'm super intrigued by the cover of this one. I just think it's awesome. Ashby Holler, One Way In, No Way Out. It has to do with gangs, and her mother's in a gang, and she wants to be a part of the gang. And I don't know how that all works, but I love the cover. I just think the cover is fierce. But Ashby Holler by Jamie Zakian, I think, is how you pronounce them. If I'm wrong on these, I apologize profusely because I don't like getting people's names wrong at all. This next one calls for, the middle square in the bingo board calls for a queer author or rep. Now remember, this is all Autistic Pride Month stuff, so all of the authors are on the spectrum. This is Failure to Communicate. I believe the author is LGBTQ. This is Kaya Sonderby. Again, I believe this is book 1, and Tone of Voice is book 2, I think. I gotta go back and look. It'll tell me for sure when I go to read the books because it says very specifically on my Kindle which one is which. This one is also, I'm trying to remember, Arithmancy Wants Me to Do What? I have the sheet right here. Opposite or read something out of your favorite genre. Okay, I don't have a lot of genres I don't like. I'll read anything. Fantasy is my favorite. Sci-fi a little bit less so. This falls more in the sci-fi category, I think, from looking at the description, than it does in fantasy. Although there's a little bit of fantasy involved too. So I'm, again, bending the rules a little bit with that one. No autistic rep in the book whatsoever is Chemistry. This is by C.L. Lynch. How many boys can literally offer you their heart? Now, when I first looked at this, I thought that was like an apple that was rotting, but no, it's actually a heart, like a human heart. And that I'm really tweaking with this one bad. Ancient Runes for the Owls calls for me to read a book that has a heart on the cover or in the title. I don't quite think this is what they meant, but I'm going to go with it. So Chemistry by C.L. Lynch is also what I'm reading for the Ancient Runes prompt for my Owls, because why not? A short story or novella by an autistic author. I am reading No Room at the Inn by Brooke Winters. That's going to be on Scribd. And the last one The last one for the Autistic Readathon is Artistic Pride Readathon is an author of color. For that, I am reading a book entitled A Girl Like Her. It's the Ravenswood series, book 1 by Talia Hibbert. So there is one of these. The only owls prompt I didn't tell you about was the history of magic, which calls for me to read a book featuring witches or wizards. Again, I bring you back to A Study in Darkness. She has magical powers that she's been born with and is trying to deal with, but she also is coming up against others who are magic born with wizard, warlock, sorcerer type powers. So this book is going to cover that prompt as well, which is good because this is really thick. I don't have a lot of terribly huge books. Crest is pretty large, and this is pretty large. Straight on until morning, but the print's usually large enough that it's not as heavy to read as it looks. So that's where we are, doing owls and doing the Artistic Pride Readathon and the Thankful-a-thon. I will try to remember to put the links to those Twitter feeds down below. All of these are playing out mostly on Twitter and Discord, and I think one of them might even have a presence on Instagram. If I'm not mistaken, the Autistic Readathon, I think, has a presence on Instagram as well. So I'd love to hear what you're doing. If you're participating in any of these 3, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Have a great day.